Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Today we have a mystery guest. I can't say his name, but he's really cool and we're going to be talking about digital marketing today. And Cadie, bless your heart, she had to choose to stay at the office today and she's got lots of payrolls. Life is good. So get ready for the show. I'm Karen. I'm a CPA, entrepreneur with big ideas, and I'm the mom.
I'm Cadie. I'm a payroll specialist, business owner, and detail-oriented person that makes things happen. And I'm the daughter. Welcome to Cheers to Business.
All right, Mr. X. That's what I'm going to call you on the show.
That's great.
Okay, good. I can't say his name. There's some professional issues that we don't want to go to. We do want to thank you for coming on the show.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Can you tell us about your background?
Sure. I am a digital marketing consultant. I cut my teeth as a product manager of a billion-dollar corporation. I was managing 7 different product lines. The flagship product is now running on 3 billion devices around the world. That's one of the most successful tech products in history. Part of that was digital marketing early on, and since then, I've done a media turnaround for a company. I've worked with consultants and coaches, and I've worked with brick-and-mortar businesses, almost primarily on their digital marketing.
That sounds like it's the way social media, internet has evolved. That sounds like it's all over the world. But what I kind of want guests to take away for today is what is digital marketing, why use digital marketing, and how you use digital marketing. So what is it?
Well, digital marketing is a combination of a lot of different things. As you mentioned, it's social media marketing, but it's really anything that touches the internet. But today, and especially in the last 5 to 7 years, it's expanded to include mobile phone, which includes text messaging, but also display advertising, so electronic banners. And it's even gone so far as digital automation. But I think for your audience right now, we should consider it any kind of outreach using the internet. And maybe we can talk a little bit about mobile phone stuff.
So isn't everybody an expert on Facebook?
It seems that way. Isn't that interesting that that's the problem today? And that's one of the reasons why I think now it's certainly moving from organic social media. And what organic means is just popping up on Facebook and typing in a quick post, or you upload a photo or a quick video. And that's certainly gotten a lot harder today because that's what everyone's doing. So a topic we'll get to in just a second is paid advertising, and Facebook offers paid media, and that's where social media is going now. But the problem that you have is exactly what you just talked about, is any customer can't tell what's good or what's bad on Facebook because everybody is popping up there, putting some sort of post, making some sort of claim about their product or their service, and it's impossible for the user now to tell what's good and what's bad.
So you're saying that there is a plan and a way to differentiate
That's
yourself?
Right.
Of how to make yourself different. You know, we've talked in the past, a lot of it's relationships, like letting the people get to know you, put you out there, the real you, not
Right.
the fake you that you show your grandma.
Well, people buy from people they like, know, and trust. So if you can establish that sort of connection, you're a step ahead of everybody else.
Why should businesses do this?
About digital marketing. Is
Yes.
that what you mean? Yeah. Well, one thing is that's where all your people are. It's underutilized, but really people undervalue exactly how powerful it is. And so right now, there's, according to Pew Research, it's 81% of people are online every day. Now, there's about 330 million people in the United States, and so that leaves 267,300,000 people on the internet every day.
Holy cow.
Of those, about 75 million are online about almost constantly. Now, that's a lot of people.
Do
You know?
Do you know the first accounting program I ever used was in DOS? And I said that to somebody the other day, and they went, "What's DOS?"
Well, it just shows the progression, because we've gone so far from DOS to where now there's online stuff. So now the demographics are changing. Clearly, there's young people that are on there. But young adults, middle adults they're part of that 75 million.
My mother-in-law is on there.
And the 55 and older crowd is the biggest growing segment of all users.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't it true that the younger ones are now on Instagram and not on Facebook?
It is younger now, but it will not always be.
You know what it seems like everything else in life, that a young person finds it and it's cool, and then
Right.
all of a sudden the
That's
news
exactly.
gets out, and so once the older people start doing it, the younger people don't want to do it anymore, or maybe the younger people are getting older. I don't know.
With both. There is a local business owner here. I was talking to her about it, and she was lamenting that she got off Facebook because her parent-in-laws, her stepmother, got on Facebook, and she couldn't stand being on it anymore. because her mother-in-law was constantly on there, and she would make just, whatever you do on Facebook day to day. And then her mother-in-law was she'd send her a text message or comment or whatever. And so, yeah, that's exactly kind of how the progression is. Beyond Instagram now, the even younger demo is getting on Snapchat.
Okay, so Snapchat's the new place to go from people to hide from their family
The
and
younger
in-laws.
people. Yes.
So I guess what I'm hearing is that who you want to sell to is on their phone. So you need to be out there where they're looking in order to drive business to you.
In this particular case, the phone is a device. So I would think of it more like media. Think of Facebook as equivalent to radio, or Facebook as equivalent to television. Instagram is equivalent to one of those. Think of it as media channel.
I can't watch commercials anymore. I can't do it.
No one can.
I have to
part of
pause
that
it.
is because advertisers are terrible and commercials suck.
And there's 10 of them at one time. I counted and I went, I'm wasting my life.
Yeah, and that's one of the powers of moving over to digital media is that you're able to actually target and segment your users in a lot more powerful ways than you can on television ever could.
Let's just take Payroll Vault. Payroll Vault wants to do more in have a mission of digital marketing. We're going to digital market, not just take pictures and post. How do you do that?
There's three main pieces of digital marketing. There's content marketing, there's SEO, and there's paid media. Now, for you experts that are out there, I know that I'm dumbing it down, and that's general.
I want to thank you on behalf of me and quite a few other people I know.
Good. And now I know you guys have had podcasts on content. I heard it was with Johnny Gwynn. I heard it's great. I'm sure it's wonderful. SEO has changed a lot. I think that's probably a topic
Okay.
for another podcast.
All right. What's SEO?
Search engine optimization.
Okay.
And so that is taking very specific pieces of your website and making them so that the search engines can pick up your content. These are all tied together, by the way. SEO, it used to be that you could really hack out Google results. So you could make some changes and then suddenly you're on the first page of Google. Today, it's a lot harder.
Don't you have to pay for words?
That's paid advertising.
Okay.
You have to pay for the expertise because people have to know how to do SEO. So you'll pay for, but it's just like a service industry. There's SEO firms.
So that's been a product of evolution of this time.
Yes, and it turns out that it's an arms race if you got anybody knows game theory. And so what's happened is that the SEO guys popped into the search engine stuff and they were figuring out how to rank on Google. So they're like, oh, well, let's cool. Let's make all these changes. They show up on Google. Well, Google is not a whole bunch of dummies. And so then Google would say, well, these guys are not really playing by the rules. So all the Google engineers would go and change stuff. The SEO guys would figure it out. And so it went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And now the SEO is incredibly hard to gain traction. It takes about a year.
That long?
Of continued effort, yeah.
Okay.
And so
That sounds expensive, actually.
it depends on the niche. Like if you're in $1 billion niche, it's not that expensive. You can
There's
put
not
$1.
that many out there.
Right. But if you're a local business, it's something I tell them to do on the side, and it's something that I do with clients on the side. But we expect the ROI to be in 6 months and a year, not in a week or a month. I really want to talk about how much the web has changed because I think people don't realize that. And to make this point, I want to take websites and I want to turn them into seconds. Okay, so one web page is going to equal 1 second. So if we got 10 web pages, that equivalent to that's going to be 10 seconds. So I want you to guess how long 1 million seconds is. You think it's 30 days? You think it's 90 days? You think it's a year?
I have no idea, and I really like math.
1 million seconds is 11 days.
Wow.
Okay, now how many is 1 billion seconds?
I'm not going there.
32 years. Now, how long is 1 trillion seconds?
You tell me.
It will go all the way back to prehistoric man to paleo something. That's a lot. Now, there are not a trillion.
That's really cool, though.
There are 60 trillion web pages on the internet. 60 trillion.
Okay, you've made a very, very good point.
And beyond that, Google can only index a certain percentage of them, meaning there are some that will block Google. There are some that are behind databases. If you ever have to log into stuff, there are pages out there that you can't access, that you only access with a login. Well, Google doesn't know that login. And so a conservative estimate is that it's 3,000 times bigger than that. So whatever 60 trillion is times 3,000. That's how big the web is.
You left me speechless.
That is the reason why with the web being so big, that's why it's so hard for a local company just to toss out a couple of blog posts and say, oh, well, I hope somebody shows up.
So it's got to be a mental, conscious drive.
That I'm acquiring customers. I need the right kind of customer to come to me so I can pitch them my service. And paid advertising is the way.
Okay.
And so because of the size of
Katie
the web,
would be proud you brought me right back to paid advertising.
and so because of the size of the web, paid advertising, in my humble but correct opinion, is that it is the most valuable asset that a business owner can have today. Just to restate that, it's turning paid advertising into profits. That is the most profitable skill any business owner or digital marketer can have today.
Well, isn't that what they did with TV and radio?
No.
And billboards?
The difference is branding versus direct marketing. So a branding campaign is about getting awareness out. Digital marketing right now is converting a customer. So it's all about conversion, not necessarily about brand awareness. So it's the difference between somebody knowing what you do and somebody buying what you do. So there's a ton of people who might know that you do payroll services. I know there's several people in this building that know, but none of us are customers. Now you might say that
Some are.
You might say that we possibly could be, and some are, but not everybody is.
Right.
So being a customer is different than being aware of your logo. And that's really the split now between brand guys and people like me who are all about conversions. The reason why we've been focused on conversion so much has to do with data and digital marketing. So there's a famous advertising adage that goes, it's from John Wanamaker, who was the department store guy who created Wanamaker's in Philadelphia. And the adage goes, every advertising person knows this. And Wanamaker said, 50% of my advertising is making money. I just don't know which 50%. And so that's the brand guys. They just would put out some image advertising in newspapers or whatever, and they just hope that people would come.
If you put out enough, you'll get a certain
Correct.
percentage.
Right. And so what he was saying is 50% of it was working. He just didn't know because he wasn't tracking. Well, today with data and digital and paid media, you can track where all those things are coming from. So that segues into this next point, which is something that you mentioned earlier. And let's take paid media, which is native advertising. It's Google AdWords. Yahoo has something. And Facebook has paid media. Snapchat and Instagram do too, but let's just talk about those. But let's focus in just on Facebook ads. You said that you pushed the boost button, and that went out to reach all of these fans.
Hopefully.
Right? Okay.
I need them converted to fans.
You need them converted to customers, not to fans.
Okay.
So there is a difference between metrics. There's what's called vanity metrics and sales. Boost is really a demonstration that Facebook and Google and all those guys are not really local business owners' friends. They're not on your side. They're on the side of Facebook. And they will happily take your money and then waste it just like any other a person who is not the business owner. Now, if you're the business owner, you would like to know that your money is being spent to acquire customers, not necessarily just to reach some random person. So when you hit boost, what happens is the Facebook algorithm just says, you know what? It doesn't really matter who this goes to. Let's just put it out there. And that's where a lot of business owners make a mistake. They think that boost is actually acquiring customers. All it does is it's just letting them increase their brand awareness.
Good to know.
So if you were focused on conversions, there is a whole other back end to Facebook.
Okay.
And there's some steps that you'll have to go through. It's a bunch of tech things, but essentially you'll download what Facebook is called a business manager. Once you get into that.
I did that by accident one time. I have the manager.
Oh, there you go. I don't know
how to use it.
You're already on your way to being a conversion expert.
Stop it.
And so what happens is that gives you an immense control over who you target. Let me say that again. It gives you control over who you target.
Okay.
Compare that to the Facebook boost, where that's just going out to random people. Now, technically, it's not all random. Please don't call into the show. I realize it's not random, but for this discussion, it is. But on the business manager, you're given control over who you can target. So let's say that your business owners are within a certain age range.
Okay.
Right? Now, you don't have to be as specific that they're 55 years old and, they live on this street or whatever, but I can probably guarantee that no one under 21 owns a business that's going to hire you. Would you guess percentage-wise? So you can eliminate those people. How about people that are retired, that are over 70?
Right.
Well, you can eliminate those people. Well, now suddenly your universe has gotten smaller. Now, that's just a very, very simple
You've
example.
gotten rid of some of those trillions that are on the web.
Exactly.
Okay, I got
Exactly.
it. I can see it.
And so then the next step, so you've eliminated some people who clearly are not your customers. So then the next step is we loop that around. And so who is? Well, for some businesses, it might be female-owned, right? There are some coaches who only work with female entrepreneurs. And so they would only want their conversion-focused advertisements to go to female entrepreneurs. There are some things that only focus on guys. So you can do that.
The cigar club.
Correct, right. Then beyond that, so that's just basic demographic and gender things. Facebook keeps a store of all of our interests and likes, and you can access that database.
You can?
You can. I do it, and I've done it in some very lucrative ways, and I've done it in some very clever ways that really, once you really know who your customer is, you can get a ton of insights. So for example,
interesting.
Yeah, so there's some things about titles. If someone has their title as a CEO or a business owner or an entrepreneur or whatever, doctor, right? You can target those people based on their title. Now, this is self-identified information. You're not getting this from some external database. These people have volunteered this information, and you're just using the Facebook interface to access it.
Okay.
So there's nothing bad happening. Based on simple title, you could access whoever, you could target a certain demographic who you want. One campaign that I just set up and ran as a test was for a wedding photographer. And so I was able to target females because they're the ones that are going to hire a wedding photographer. And their relationship status has recently changed from engaged within the last 6 months, or they had an interest in engagement.
You're data mining.
Correct.
You're mining for data.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I was able to target with that. And using that targeting, I was just running a test. So I just threw, I don't know how much money. It wasn't a lot, but I had a first lead within 24 hours.
That is very cool.
And that's just Facebook. Google is a whole different beast. And quite honestly, Google is even more powerful.
What's the next step for people? I mean, I can't tell them your name, so I can't tell them how to find you. What does somebody do?
You want to read about Facebook paid advertising. You want to download the Business Manager, which you have to have the Chrome browser to do. You want to start with Facebook. They have tutorials on their paid advertising, and so I would start there.
YouTube?
I'm sure there's stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, but I never know what to believe on YouTube.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem. Just like the web pages, there's a ton of guys that are out there, and some of it's correct and some of it's not. I know there's training. I would make sure it says facebook.com/ whatever the training is.
Okay.
But there's a ton of stuff.
Good.
I think there's even a certification course. I know that I took one. I don't know if I still have it, but there's just a ton of their own resources that they can have. And you want to look at paid media, paid traffic for Facebook. And that was plenty to get you started. And make sure the training is from Facebook. There's plenty of tutorials and steps. And the other thing is stop boosting. Don't do any more boosting until you can,
No more boosting.
until you can read the tutorials.
Okay. I'm so happy you came on this show today just to save me $30. So
And that $30, you're not wasting it anymore. You can still spend that $30 and you will. It's just now you're going to be targeting towards people who will likely convert and give you money.
Okay.
Because instead of spending $30 just to spread your name, now you're spending $30 to reach people who are actually interested in what you offer and need what you offer. And so as you explain your services, they have the money and the need to give it to you.
So any wrap-up points? Any advice, tips, tricks?
Yeah. Focus in on conversion, not on branding. Think about who your customer is. If every business owner did that and got a great idea of who their preferred buyer was, then their life would be so much easier about focusing on Facebook. So figure out who your core buyer is and then go to Facebook and put those interests in, and all of your ads will convert more.
You know what? We're going to wrap some stuff up, but right now, cheers to Mr. X in digital marketing, man. You have just blown my mind. All right, I'm going to have one, then you have one. Cheers to knowing your business and your customer.
Cheers to the power of digital marketing and making your ads more profitable.
Mr. X, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure.
Y'all, thank you so much for listening and being here with us today. I'm Karen.
I'm Cadie. Please be sure to subscribe to Cheers to Business podcast on iTunes or anywhere else that you get your podcast. Visit our Facebook and be sure to give us a like. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to discuss, shoot us an email from the website cheerstobusiness.com.